So, started the brand or the company homegrown. So, started lang sa little barrio dun sa province namin. Just me and my husband. And then, eventually, nag-grow ko siya into 100 employees.
Wow! Okay, what's the biggest mistake that you have ever made in your business?
Siguro yung masyado ako nagtiwala sa tao. It cost me talaga millions. Yung biggest mistake ko yan.
Like, I want to say this even off cam. Like, sobrang chill mo lang, di ba? Other people in the e-commerce space are talking about you na you're really like their inspiration. Na ikaw talaga yung medyo nauna at nasa tuktok talaga. Like, you grew it to 100. Ano yung biggest success na you've been able to achieve with the business that you currently have?
Siguro yung nagawa ko na from the employees, na-empower ko talaga sila rin mag-business.
I'm really curious, like, how much ang nakita na ng mga naturuan mo?
Okay. Ito, medyo unbelievable Nasa province lang tong mga to. Malayo sila sa available resources. Pero, kumikita talaga sila ng 7 digits. In the province, sobrang laki talaga siyang income. And that's net profit. Every single man.
Our guest for today, a serial entrepreneur. She started as a freelancer before, but she is considered as one of the OGs pagdating sa e-commerce. And here with us today, someone that will share her secrets, her story to all of you guys. None other than Leanne. Leanne, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Good morning.
The Pod Network Entertainment.
Welcome back to Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. My name is Alec Cuenca and I am your host. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Maraming salamat sa lahat na nag-click ng episode na to kasi I know I always say this a lot. But this is actually a special episode because today is again an episode where hindi lang kayo matututo about how you can discover more parts about yourself, but you're gonna learn real practical stuff in terms of getting better, whether it's business and in life, no? And today, this is not a solo episode. I'm actually with a guest that I have recently connected with. Although nag-usap na kami mga few months before, parang ngayon ko lang talaga nalaman ang storya niya, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear her story. So our guest for today is a serial entrepreneur. She started as a freelancer before, started businesses as well. But she is considered as one of the OGs pagdating sa e-commerce. And here with us today is someone that will share her secrets, her story to all of you guys. So again, I'm super excited to welcome on the show none other than Leanne. Leanne, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Good morning.
Yeah.
And thank you sa pag-invite sa akin for this podcast.
Yeah, I'm super excited to really know your story. But of course, para rin sa mga tao na hindi first time ka or maybe first time ka marinig, magsalita. Like, can you share a little bit about your success in life? Ano na yung mga, some accomplishments that people can, get inspiration from you?
Okay. So, I started running a business way back 2018. So, that's pre-pandemic. Pero prior to that, registered nurse talaga ako. So, pero registered nurse na ang pangarap ng family ko is to go to abroad. Kumita ng dollars. But then, I chose a different path. So, ang ginawa ko, nag-try ako mag-work sa different companies, call center, BPO, medical representative, nag-try din ako doon. And also tried practicing yung nursing kasi baka nga pang nurse talaga ako. So, nag-dialysis nurse ako. School nurse, clinical instructor, ganyan. But then talagang, job hopper. So feeling ko talaga, this is not for me. Hindi talaga ako pwede magtrabaho sa magkaroon ng boss, ganyan. So what I did, nag-try muna ako mag-freelancing kasi syempre parang gusto ko talaga freedom, ganyan.
Yeah.
Hindi ako pupunta sa office, ganyan. So freelancing, nag-take ako ng mga clients abroad, global clients. I tried being virtual assistant, social media marketer, Facebook ads specialist. So, you name it. Sa super duper nag-aaral talaga ako mga technical skills just to cater different clients. And then, na-realize ko nung I was managing the business of a specific client na kaya ko din pala siyang gawin kasi all around ako dun eh. Ako yung gumagawa ng ads niya. Ako yung nag-check kung profitable ba yung company or yung business niya. Yeah. And if wala ng stocks, ako yung naghahanap ng supplier. So parang ako talaga, except syempre, hindi ko talaga hawak yung real money. Kumbaga, siya pa rin talaga yung nagdi-disburse, nagmamanage ng finances. So sabi ko, I can do this. So ginawa ko, I tried looking for a community dito sa Philippines. Kasi parang sabi ko, hindi ko yata kaya pag global kasi wala akong connection. So, I tried looking for a community dito sa Philippines. Kung meron na bang e-commerce or naglaro ng e-commerce. And then, wala pa akong masyadong nakita. Not until may nakita akong isang masterclass. And then, yun, I joined. Nakakuha ako ng community doon, ng friends, ganyan, same kami ng path ng journey, ganyan. And then, hindi ko talaga ina-expect na parang, during the first few months of running the business, puro siya positive. So, from there, nagkaroon talaga ako ng parang momentum and of course, yung funds na pang cash flow. So, yun, nag-grow ko yung business. So, started the brand or the company homegrown. So, started lang sa little barrio dun sa province namin. Just me and my husband. And then, eventually, nag-grow ko siya into 100 employees.
Wow! Okay. 100 employees, right? Yes. In a span of
2018 to 2021, so that's 3 years or 4 years.
Yeah, and I've been hearing some stories about you na and I know you're a very humble person. Like I want to say this even off cam. Like sobrang chill mo lang, 'di ba? But then other people in the e-commerce space are talking about you na you're really like their inspiration. Na ikaw talaga yung medyo nauna at nasa tuktok talaga ng ano. Like you grew it to 100. What was like the ano yung biggest success na you've been able to achieve with the business that you currently have?
Siguro yung nagawa ko na from the employees, na-empower ko talaga sila rin mag-business because hindi ko pa alam yung exponential growth na tinatawag before. Nakita ko na talaga na pwede kong i-duplicate yung sarili ko dun sa mga tao around me. So, started with the employees and friends. Tinuruan ko sila kung ano yung ginagawa ko up until they already created their own business din sa e-commerce and still connected din sa company namin. So, parang naging partners ko sila. So, I think that's the best success kasi parang hindi lang siya monetary. Nakapag-change ka talaga ng mindset ng iba, ng perspective, ng paniniwala, and even yung siguro na-uplift din yung buhay nila.
Yeah.
So, I think that's...
I'm really curious. Like, how much ang nakita na ng mga naturuan mo? And maybe, you know, someone that you've been coaching, you've been helping, naging partner mo sa business mo. Can you share like how much they've been able to earn?
Okay. Ito medyo unbelievable Nasa province lang tong mga to. Nasa kumbaga, malayo sila sa available resources. Pero, kumikita talaga sila ng 7 digits. And actually, yung mga tao doon, may isang barangay doon na madami akong resellers. Unti-unti magkakatabi yung bahay, nagpuput up talaga sila, nagpapaayos ng bahay, nagpaparenovate, and even nagpapatayo. So, tabi yun ng school. So, ang nangyari, pati yung mga teachers, parang na-curious sila, parang sabi, anong meron? Anong ginagawa ng mga to? Ang babata, estudyante ko lang to, tas mas maganda na yung bahay. And tabi-tabi talaga sila, mga around 5 na resellers namin. Employees namin din naging resellers namin. So, ang nangyari, nag-spark siya ng curiosity around the community. So, there was a time talaga na may pumupunta sa office namin, magbibigay ng pera, ready na po ako mag-invest. So, sabi ko, ano yung investment? So, nagtataka ako. Tapos yun, around 6 digits to 7 digits talaga. In the province, sobrang laki talaga siyang income. And that's net profit. Every single month. So, syempre parang, na-ano sila, parang na-curious talaga na anong meron. And even yung curiosity na yun, may positive and negative impact. nagkaroon din kami ng parang na-raid kami, ganun. Kasi they were thinking na since nasa small bar, yun lang yung operations namin, they were thinking na nagpo-porn kami, may gambling. So, yun yung mga akala nila. But then, wala naman. So,
yeah, perfectly legal.
Yes,
maayos.
perfectly.
Matinong business
Yes.
to.
yun. Hindi pa kasi sila aware dun sa e-commerce
Yeah.
business.
And to think na province to.
Yeah.
Right? Lagi nilang sinasabi na kapag gusto mo maging successful, kailangan nasa Manila ka. Right? You have seen success. Kahit, even now, you're staying in the province, Isabela, di ba? What was your mindset that allowed you na ganun yung maabot mo? Kasi for sure, di ba? Parang before, ang sinasabi, kailangan mo mag-Manila or mag-abroad, di ba? Sabi nga sa'yo. But what was your mindset that allowed you to have this kind of success?
Siguro na-leverage ko lang yung available resources ko. Like yung internet. So, I started with the internet kasi freelancer ako. And then, nung nakita ko na hindi na lang pwedeng internet yun, finish ko yung discomfort of going out. Pumunta ako sa Manila talaga. I joined talaga yung tribe or yung tribe ng e-commerce. So, yun. So, you can start naman. But eventually, if you really want to grow, you have to get out din talaga.
Okay, so even if nung nasa province ka, you know na it's very important to get out of the province.
Very important.
Yet, you found success dun sa province nyo din.
Yes.
What was that your game plan? Na parang, i-dominate muna natin tong Isabela, or it just kind of happened?
Siguro parang na-realize ko lang din na yung influence ko gamitin ko dun sa hindi pa nila nakikita na kailangan nilang lumabas. So, sabi ko nga dun, may community pa rin ako dun. Sinasabi ko na sana yung ma-adapt natin yung community ng e-commerce na nagtutulungan, ganyan, give value, and talagang ina-uplift yung ibang tao. So, yun, marami din, dun kasi sa province namin, business-oriented sila, pero hindi nila talaga alam yung digital masyado, ganyan. Paano ko na-realize na business-oriented sila? Farmers, nagtitrade sila ng crops nila. And then, pag ibang season naman siya, ang ginagawa nila, ibang type of trading naman. Like, nagbebenta sila ng, yung eel. So, may ganun. So, parang sabi ko, actually, sila parang napaka-flexible nila in terms of kahit hindi season, hindi nila pwedeng hayaan na hintayin na lang yung season for cropping. Gumagawa talaga sila ng ways.
And I guess that's one of the definitions of being an entrepreneur, di ba? Pag entrepreneur ka, hindi naman to ibig sabihin na CEO ka eh.
Yeah.
Pag entrepreneur ka, you solve problems. Depende kung nasaan ka.
Exactly.
No? And you're saying na like yung mga hindi alam ng mga tao pero entrepreneur mindset din talaga sila. So, is that where you got your entrepreneurial mindset? Or meron ka pang naging ibang inspiration para, gusto ko din talaga mag-business?
Siguro factor yung nakipag-work ako talaga sa mga small businesses globally, directly. So, naging virtual assistant ako. Sabi ko nga kanina. Tapos yun, dumating sa point na ako yung nagmamanage ng marketing nila. Directly reporting kasi ako sa kanila. So, parang, sabi ko parang pagkausap ko naman, parang ordinary lang naman sila. Pero they manage multiple businesses. So, sabi ko parang feeling ko kaya ko din.
Yeah.
And then, nagkaroon din ako ng parang spark for business dun sa partner ko. Kasi lumaki siya sa family na ganun yung ginagawa nila. So, hindi talaga sila umasa sa employment. Though, kumbaga, sabi niya kasi, ang pagsisisi niya daw is, yung parents niya hindi nag-focus sa education. Which is kasi ako, sa family ko naman, they focused on me nurturing sa education. Kailangan maging registered nurse ka. Yeah. So, magkaiba kami talaga ng upbringing. Pero ang na-appreciate ko naman, kasi parang, okay, hindi ko nga nagagamit yung certificate ko or yung diploma ko right now. And ikaw, hindi ka nila na-nurture into education, pero ang galing mo mag-manage ng yun, yung business, ganyan. So, siguro factor din talaga na yung partner ko and yung mga naging boss ko.
Yeah. Super interesting. Like, I'm curious kasi di ba nung nag-freelance ka, na-check mo, ito pala yung ginagawa ng isang business. And then you started, it's basically the same.
Yes.
Except this time, ikaw na yung parang may-ari nun, right? What was the major differences? Ano yung nakita mo na para lang din aware yung mga tao na akala ng mga tao, it's the same. Pero are there any differences na pag freelancer ka doing the job and versus ikaw na mismo yung business owner?
Actually, nung una akala ko same lang. Pero ibang-iba, iba yung skills na kailangan mo doon or iba yung characteristics na kailangan mo doon. Kasi parang more on operations ka kasi pag freelancer. Pero pag business kasi, you really have to be visionary. Saan kayo papunta? Ikaw talaga yung mag-iisip doon eh. So, yung freelancer naman ako dati, ako taga-implement. Alam ko yung metrics ko, alam ko yung KPI. Pero alam ko lang yun. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung next level. Pag business owner kasi, you really have to think na ano yung next strategy. Or if eto nag-fail tong plan na to, anong gagawin mo? So, it's really different.
Yeah. And super interesting. I am really, I really want to learn like how you all started with all the success that you're having right now then. Siguro ang isa sa mga parang tanong ko is, for sure, there were a lot of things na mistakes and struggles.
Yes.
Like, what's the biggest mistake that you have ever made in your business?
Siguro yung masyado ako nagtiwala sa tao. And of course, yung ako din, hindi ako masyadong, kumbaga, hindi ko masisisi na nagtiwala ako sa ibang tao. It's just that hindi ko, kumbaga, yung judgment ko masyadong clouded. And it's a major decision. So, yun yung isang biggest mistake ko. So, specifically, when I just gave birth, nag-invest ako sa partnership dun sa isa kong friend, which is hindi ko siya sinisisi. Actually, ako yung may kasalanan dun because after pregnancy pala, hindi ka pwedeng magkaroon ng major decision because your hormones is different. So, yun yung ginawa ko and then, it didn't work out and it cost me talaga millions. So, I think biggest mistake ko yan. Pero, looking back, it's fine kasi part siya eh. Part siya talaga ng business.
Yeah. And can you tell me a little more about that na parang when you say it's part of business, like failure is a part of business, anong mo dun?
Yun, kasi ang business is all about testing. So, wala talaga siyang blueprint na, okay, this one would work, guaranteed. It's not eh. You really have to test and i-check mo talaga kung ano yung risk appetite mo. Kung mataas yung risk appetite mo, then, willing kang i-test yun. Pero, kung mababa yung risk appetite mo, magte-test ka pa rin kasi you're a business owner eh. Kailangan mong i-check kung mag-work to. Kasi kung hindi ka mag-try or mag-check, hindi mo alam kung yun na yung sagot eh. Yun na yung hinihintay mong success. So, you have to be willing na, business, kailangan talaga may failures. Kasi doon ka matututo. Ang maganda naman dun sa failures, actually, parang parang room for growth siya. Na kapag hindi mo siya gagawin, yung nangyari kasi sa akin when I was starting the business, parang feeling ko talaga dire-diretsyong okay. So, ang naisip ko, parang okay. Pero nung nagkamali ako, doon ko lang na-realize na I have to correct the system. I have to invest on my people. Kasi konting mali lang, ayun, hindi na alam yung gagawin ng mga tao ko. Affected na yung entire business or entire operations. So, kung nung una pa lang, nagtatry na ako na, okay, test natin to, at least parang nai-equip ko na slowly yung mga tao ko.
Yeah. Ang ganda nung sinabi mo na parang you learn more by making a mistake than the successes that you have. Right? Na okay ka. Pero sa pagkakamali mo pala, mas maiintindihan, andito pa palang pala ako. Ito pala yung mga kailangan kong ayusin. Ito pala yung mga kailangan kong gawin pa dahil sa pagkakamali na yon.
Yeah.
So, parang it's really a part of the business. It's really a part of life as well, 'di ba? Na sa buhay talagang magkakamali ka. But like I'm curious, what was your thought process in experiencing that? Like, of course, kasi ngayon, talking about it, in retrospect, say mo, yeah, it's fine, lesson learned. But was it the same nung going through it? What was your, like, mentality nung mismong nagkamali ka and how you got back from that?
I think yung natutunan ko doon is hindi lang talaga dapat short term yung tinitignan mo. Kasi I was winning short term lang yun. Pero hindi ko naisip na ano yung goal ko after 5 years? Saan papunta si K-Gold? After 10 years, ganun. So right now, since nakita ko talaga na ang bilis talaga ng transition sa digital world, kailangan talaga, ang natutunan ko is hindi ka pwedeng tumigil. Kailangan mag-try, mag-test ka. If this would work or hindi, then try and try. So it's a continuous improvement process talaga.
Yeah.
So part yun, yung failure.
And itong pagtatry na to, which I totally agree, by the way, na you should be trying para mas makita mo kung ano yung things that would work and things that would work better. But even the process of trying, I do know na medyo, feel ko to, na parang mahirap din. There's so much courage or lakas ng loob for you to try. Right? How do you have, paano mo na ko-collect or napupush yung sarili mo to try like these very hard things na ginagawa mo ngayon?
Hey, it's Stan.
It's Ro,
Chino,
Emil,
And along with Rowan ASH, we are the Wrestling Podcast. We are the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast.
Each week, we talk about the latest happenings in pro wrestling. We give you takes from perspectives honed from years in the wrestling business and syempre as fans.
If you want someone to help process the feels about the different ganaps from WWE, AEW, NJPW, Impact, and more each week, you'll know what to do.
Tune in to the Wrestling Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Siguro sa 5 years kong pagbe-business, na-realize ko na this is what I signed up for talaga. Hindi naman ako pumasok sa isang employment na pag nahirapan ako, I can just resign, look for another job. Hindi eh. This is what I signed up for. Business, it's part of the business. And kung nagkakamali ako, hindi ako pwede mag-give up eh. Kasi gusto ko, hindi ako magre-retire actually. Wala akong retirement plan. Gusto ko up until my last breath, nagra-run ako ng business.
Talaga? Really? Why?
Because siguro nung nag-nurse ako, nakita ko yung difference. Nag-handle kami ng geriatrics. Nakita ko yung difference nung mga taong may ginagawa after 60 years old nila, 70 years old sila, versus sa nasa nursing home sila or nasa bahay lang. Iba yung overall wellness nila. So, sabi ko, pag tanda ko, ayoko yung nandun na ako sa bahay. Gusto ko, may ginagawa pa rin ako. Not physically na talagang manual work ka pa rin or leg work. But yung trabahong nag-iisip ka pa rin. O, ito yung dapat gawin. Continuous pa rin na nag-aaral ka for your business, kung paano siya mag-grow, ganun. So,
tingin mo bakit? Bakit kaya yung mga taong medyo tumatanda, meron pa rin ginagawa mas maayos yung mga buhay?
Siguro nafe-feel pa rin nila na may silbi sila sa earth, ganun. Kasi parang once you stop doing or working, parang feeling ko, iisipin mo na lang, hinihintay mo na lang kailan yung last breath mo eh. Parang wala na excitement, wala na yung maglo-look forward ka na may gagawin ka kinabukasan. Kasi masyadong magiging routine na yun kapag hindi ka na magtatrabaho eh. Gigising, matutulog, kakain, makikipag-usap kung may kakausap sa'yo. So, ang lungkot, ayokong maramdaman ng gano'n. Kasi para ka na lang din namatay eh.
Yeah.
So, yun. I wanna maximize yung binigay sa aking life.
Yeah, of course. I think lahat din tayo talaga gusto ma-maximize. Hindi lang natin nakikita yung parang long-term na vision na, yun pala yun, no? Pag dumating dun sa point na yun, kailangan meron ka pa rin nilo-look forward. Yun yung magpo-push sa'yo to move forward. Something that I think pinag-usapan din natin to kahapon was that you've been in this business, you helped a lot of people and also got betrayed by a lot of people. Have you experienced na yung, for sure kasi may mga success stories ka, meron ka rin bang mga failure stories in terms of the people that you've helped, the people that you trusted?
Yeah. Ever since siguro nag-start ako ng business, meron na like sa community. Hindi naman within the organization, no. Pero like yung mga kasabayan ko before, ganyan, nagkaroon ako ng betrayal. Like, before kasi, when we were starting, kailangan yung item mo, kumbaga, product research muna kayo eh. Pare-pareho kayo magpa-product research. So, ang usapan namin doon sa community namin is parang, kung ito yung product mo, hindi ka na pwede mo nang i-test kasi tutulungan ka naman namin to look for a winning item, yung tawag nila. But then, parang I got betrayed kasi kinopy yung item ko, ganyan. Pero hindi ko masyadong in-emphasize yun. Pero that's part of betrayal kasi you already have an agreement, diba? So, that's one na medyo natuto na ako doon. And then, doon naman within the organization, may mga employees din kami na, everyday talaga may betrayals din eh. Like yung sasabihin nila, nag-work sila pero nanonood naman ng YouTube. Diba? That's part of a betrayal kasi hindi nila ginagawa talaga yung trabaho nila. Pero yung mga major betrayals, like yung nag-resign tapos kinapi yung business model as an employee and then akala nila they can do it on their own. Na-try ko na din yun. Pero ang iniisip ko lang, parang yung mentality kasi na nag-freelancer ako before and na-inspire ako dun sa boss ko dati, yung mga clients ko. Parang siguro ganun din yung naging impact ko sa kanila. Pero they tried it in a different way. Yung talagang kinapi talaga yung business model mo or pati yung item mo or pati yung mga secret recipe mo, ganyan. Pero actually, naintindihan ko naman talaga sila eh. Yeah. Yun. So, for me kasi, every time na may nangyayari sa akin na masama, I take it positive talaga. Ano ba yung madudulot sa akin ito? Kasi parang ayoko namang i-consume yung energy ko na isipin na lang, trinidor niya ako, ganito dapat gawin ko, gumante, no?
Yeah, actually, yun nga yung napansin ko sa'yo eh. Kapag parang, even in the stories of hurt, of pain from the past, you have a very positive attitude towards it. Towards everything, right? How important is having a positive mindset, a positive attitude in, starting your own business?
Very, kailangan mo siya kasi every day, hindi mo alam kung may pangit na mangyayari sa'yo. So, kailangan maging positive ka. Like yung sa akin yung nangyari. May mga tao talaga nag-betray sa akin, not only the employees. Yung sinasabi kong partner ko, na millions talaga yung na-lost ko, I didn't give up on her. Kasi, instead na, marami talaga nagsasabi, i-demanda mo na yan, kasuhan mo na yan. Pero sabi ko parang, kung i-demanda ko siya at pupunta ako dun sa harap, ikakwento yung pangyayari, and she's my friend, parang ma-hurt ako. So, parang sa akin, gagawa ako ng something na ikaka-hurt ko or ikaka-consume ng energy ko. So, hindi ko siya tinuloy. Parang tinignan ko lang kung ano ba yung dapat kong gawin. So, as a business owner kasi, kapag merong nag-trader sa'yo, for me, yung perspective ko, check mo muna kung paano mo mali-leverage yung tao na mabibigyan ka ng positive. So, ang ginawa ko doon sa ex-partner ko na yan, instead of me na i-demanda siya, since ang skills niya, sales operations manager siya ng different corporations, sabi ko, may i-offer siya sa company ko. So, ang ginawa ko, kinausap ko siya, are you willing na i-train yung mga tao ko? Mm-hmm. Kasi alam ko yung skills niya eh. Instead of i-demanda kita, mag-train ka sa akin and then ibabawas ko dun sa kung ano man yung...
So, ginawa mo pang partner?
Yeah, ginawa ko siyang partner. And actually, ngayon, na-realize ko, parang maganda rin yung ginawa ko kasi parang hindi ko siya ginagawa because of her. Ginagawa ko siya because of me. Unang-una, hindi ako nagdemanda, nakatipid ako sa attorney, nakatipid ako ng energy. And at the same time, may nabigay siyang maganda sa company namin kasi nung nag-training talaga siya, okay talaga yung sales namin. And then, I even recommended her to other friends na natulungan niya din. So, nung nag-train siya sa iba, may bayad yun. So, yung payment nun, naunti-unting na ibabalik sa akin yung perang nawala. So, kung give up ko siya, kasi kung iniisip ko kung negative na lang ako, anong mangyayari kung negative thinker ako na parang, niloko niya ako, kailangan di ko na siya kausapin, kailangan i-demanda ko na siya. So, ikaw lang din yung talo dun eh. So, kailangan talaga, very important na yung mindset mo as a business owner. Okay siya.
Grabe, no? Grabe naman yung ganun na yung ginawa sa'yo. Tapos naging positive ka pa din. Na, talagang having that positive attitude. And, so, surprisingly na it also turned out to be something that both of you really benefited from each other, diba? But ang question ko is, like, is there a line na parang, okay, pag ito, hindi na ako positive, hindi na ako dito looking for, like, what's the line that when people cross na maybe for you na talagang okay, no to, parang do you experience like letting go of people, and how do you deal with that?
Yeah, madami. Kasi you really have to gauge it. Like for example, kung siya, wala naman talaga siyang may offer sa company na pabalik or kahit sa akin, hindi ka na pwedeng mag-dwell na i-try na papasukin ulit siya sa buhay mo eh. So just let go. You really have to check or preserve your energy. Kasi for me as a business owner, ang pinaka-tool mo aside from money, time, is actually your energy. Energy is everything para sa akin. So, you have to assess kung worth ba my energy na tulungan siya or pagbigyan siya ng forgiveness or to even, talk to that person. Kung hindi siya worth my energy, I just have to let go.
Wow. So, pag yun yung for you na pag
For me.
ito hindi talaga sa energy ko, ayoko talaga. Yun talaga yung no for you. I love that. Now, sabi mo, you mentioned 100 employees. Still, like, what a number, right? 100 employees. Mahirap.
Oh.
But still, for sure, di ka naman tatagal ng gato if you didn't find a way na ma-motivate sila like on a daily basis. How do you keep the motivation? Because I feel like a lot of business owners, dyan sila sumusuko na tao ko na, yun yung iniiyak nila na tao ko, ganyan. Parang, how are you able to like manage that amount of people and at the same time keep them motivated?
Siguro, very important din talaga na marunong ka mag-delegate kasi hindi mo talaga kayang i-handle yung 100 employees when it comes to motivation, coaching them. Hindi mo kayang gawin yun eh. So, you really have to duplicate yung sarili mo. So, build a team leader, build a management, then sila yung gagawa nun for you. So, ang ika-coach mo na lang is yung mga leaders mo. And, kung sila naman nahihirapan, talagang nag-i-invest talaga ako sa mga programs, ganyan. So, yun nga, recently, nag-ano talaga kami ng about culture. But prior to that talaga, kung problema nila is sales, nadidemoralize sila, hindi sila makabenta, yun, kung ano yung nakikita ko talagang problema nila, I look for trainings. Kasi, meron talaga dun sa, sa budget namin, meron talagang budget dun for growth. Kasi, naniniwala ako na kapag hindi ako nag-alat ng budget dun, wala, magiging stagnant. So, hindi talaga mag-grow and at the same time, kung magka-problema kami or kung bumaba yung benta, wala na. Hindi nila alam kung paano mag-adapt dun sa situation na yun.
Wow. So, parang talaga, leadership din, not just you, but also creating other leaders.
Yes. Very important yun. Ayaw mo naman kasi na puro ikaw lang yung magmamandate, ikaw lang yung magbibigay na, eto gawin nyo. Gusto mo din, syempre freedom din as a business owner na kapag wala ka doon, meron doon mga tao na may initiatives na gawin yung mga, for example, hindi maganda yung bentahan, so what will you do? Or mababa yung ads natin, what will you do? Same people ba ang papasok? Paano naman yung cost ng operations mo? So, kailangan may tao ka din talaga na marunong sa decision making.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm sure there are a lot of people na looking at long term, yun talaga yung titignan din nilang solution for their problems. But like, I'm curious right now. You've achieved so much success in your business. Earned money you probably could have ever dreamed of. But what's next for Leanne? Like, why are you still like grinding? I know you're doing it, you love it, but is there like an end goal for this and why you keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah. Recently lang ako nagkaroon ng kids. So, na-realize ko na gusto ko talaga silang mag-grow as a leader. And napansin ko talaga na kung yung mga bata or ako, na-realize ko na para talaga maging magaling ka or maging yung parang future self mo, kailangan may nakikita ka talaga. Malaki yung influence ng parents mo, yung family mo, dun sa background. Kasi naano ko yun sa husband ko. Yung husband ko kasi parang na-inspire siya talaga. Yung talagang nilulook up niya is yung daddy niya. Kung ano yung daddy niya before. So parang na-realize ko na, ang babata man itong anak ko, dapat nakikita nila kung ano yung possibility na i-influence ko ba, i-transfer ko yung influence na dapat paglaki nila, ambisyosa sila, marunong silang mangarap, hindi pwedeng, umaasa lang. Kasi napansin ko din yan dun sa mga ibang tao sa province namin na mga parents nila, kumbaga, umaasa sa iba or umaasa pa rin sa nanay, ganun pa rin sila. Parang, sobrang importante talaga na you will be the role model talaga ng anak mo. So ako, bukod sa sobrang gusto ko talaga mag-business, iniisip ko lagi, dapat kung ano yung ginagawa ko ngayon, ano yung acting ko, dapat nakikita yun ng anak ko para someday, kapag maggagawa siya ng pangarap niya or decision niya, hindi pwedeng mababa yung pangarap niya. Dapat mataas kasi si mami nga ambisyosa, parang gano'n.
Love it. So now it's not just for you.
Yeah.
It's really for the next generations pa.
Yes.
Na they would have something to look back on na, si mami nga ganito, sige, kaya rin natin to. Ma-inspire din sila.
Correct.
And I love that you're also creating content right now. You're posting everywhere. That's also a form of, creating that legacy for you. Siguro, ito na naisip ko lang kasi kagabi na pinag-usapan natin to, you have a lot of different products, right? But there is something that really caught my eye. It was the male enhancer coffee na meron ka.
Yes.
You have been in the industry and you're building a lot of products for health and wellness.
Yes.
Sorry, but I'm just really curious about that. Like, paano mo naisip na, you know what, this is something really interesting?
Actually, when I was doing the product research, nung plano ko pala mag-e-commerce, sabi ko, gusto ko yung product ko, yung product na sa online lang sila may confidence na bilhin. Yung mahihiya sila kapag binili nila sa store, sa pharmacy, or even sa mall, ganun. So, naisip ko nun dati, mga parang sex toys, dildo, mga ganyan.
Weren't you afraid of the judgment that would come out of it?
Actually, hindi. Kasi, parang need naman talaga siya. Nasa hierarchy of needs nga siya, di ba? Yung sex, yun. So, it's just that, dito sa Philippines kasi, di ba, parang napaka-conservative, judgmental, pag yan yung pinag-usapan, taboo. So, yun, I tried lang kung papatok ba siya. And then, nakita ko may market talaga siya. May market. So, sabi ko, talagang, pangangailangan siya. It's not actually just wants. It's a need talaga. And yung effect niya kasi, hindi lang talaga yung physical eh. It's really the confidence. Yung bibigyan mo sila ng kumpiyansa, sabi ko. So sabi ko, sige, i-push ko na. We started with oils, gels, spray. And then, sabi ko, parang maganda rin talaga yung may coffee. Para hindi lang about sa male enhancement, kundi overall wellness nila. Yeah. So, kasi karamihan ng market na napansin ko would be yung may diabetes, medyo matatanda na, may edad, ganyan. So, sabi ko, it's really a need, sabi ko. So, nung una, natatakot pa ako because siguro dahil babae ako. Yeah. Hindi ako natatakot na i-market yung product, pero natatakot ako na babae ako, tapos ako yung nagbebenta ng ganon. Yan. Pero, madaming challenge, like yung paano ka mag-train ng agents, kasi syempre, yung makakuusap nila, ano po ba yung problema mo? And syempre, ang sasagutin nila, kailangan ko ng pampatagal, pampatayo, yung mga ganyan. So, sabi ko, shit, nasa province ako, parang ang hirap magturo. Yeah. Pero hindi naman, eventually, parang naiintindihan din naman talaga nila na it's really, part of a life na tarang kailangan mo din talaga siya, hindi lang siya pinag-uusapan. So hanggang sila, dun sa namin, sa company namin, super normal na lang talaga siyang pag-usapan. And then naiintindihan talaga yung needs kasi different stories yung naririnig nila over the phone every day. So bakit nila kailangan bumili? Yung isa, iniwan ng asawa, yung mga ganon. So talagang nawawalan sila ng kumpiyansa sa sarili nila. So yung parang sinosolve talaga namin is to bring back their confidence.
Yeah. Like, on a surface level, you wouldn't see that. But now, hearing about it, it really is solving a lot of people's problems out there. And you're an entrepreneur. I know for a fact na talagang pag may problema, gusto mo talaga isolve yan. And that's really something na nakita mo na need ng mga tao. But yeah, I guess, ang parang na-curious din ako kasi sabi mo nga na nung una medyo nahiya kasi babae ka. So paano mo siya ngayon, paano mo binibreak yung stereotype? Paano mo siya nire-reframe sa market na kahit babae ka, okay lang na you talk about these things and you sell a product about that?
Siguro dahil asawa din ako. So, alam ko talaga yung struggles ng lalaki. So, yung for example, yung mga lalaki kasi gusto nila parang ini-impress talaga nila yung partner nila or yung asawa nila. So, sa akin, parang parang ang gusto kong para makita nila is ako yung asawa, ako yung babae, ako yung nakakaintindi kung ano yung magpapaligaya sa akin and how are you going to impress me. So, yun yung parang gusto kong ma-realize nila na kahit babae ako, dapat maging komportable ka sa akin na makipag-usap about it or bumili sa akin, and talagang ako yung parang right person to talk about it kasi alam ko talaga yung nangyayari within the relationship.
Yeah, kasi parang I think I've read it somewhere as well na like intimacy or the lack of intimacy is like one of the leading problems ng mga taong naghihiwalay. Right? It's the lack of like that physical connection as well. And I'm no expert on marriage and stuff, but I do know that it's a very important part of a relationship. And so that's something that you've also seen.
Yes.
Diba?
Yung hindi lang kasi confidence yung binibenta eh. Kasi once na nakuha ng lalaki yung confidence, mas maganda niyang i-manage yung relationship, the family, diba? So, kapag okay yung family, diba, ang dami ng impact nun. So, parang lang siya, domino effect. So, it started, kung mapapansin mo, yung hindi okay yung family, nag-start kasi mababa ang kumpiyansa ng lalaki.
Yeah. So parang yun talaga ang nakikita mo na the reason why families are not working is because yung head of the family is not confident.
Yes. That's why dun sa experience ko naman, yung husband ko before, hindi siya yung breadwinner. Ako yun. And nakita ko talaga na kapag hindi ka breadwinner, kasi sa mindset kasi nila, dapat, they are a provider, diba?
Yeah.
Dapat sila yung nagpo-provide. Nung hindi siya yung nagpo-provide, parang lagi niya akong inaaway, ganun. So parang, siguro inaaway niya ako dahil ngayon nga, walang kumpiyansa, parang naliliit siya sa sarili niya. Pero hindi ko hinayaan yun kasi we're building a family. Ang ginawa ko, when kumikita na yung business ko, talagang in-uplift ko siya. Binigyan ko, slowly, nag-build siya ng business niya. And then right now, we have our own businesses. And right now, iba talaga yung relationship namin. Kahit hindi kami masyado nagkikita kasi iba talaga yung industry niya, iba yung industry ko. Pero yung relationship, talagang naging better siya compared before na mas mataas ako kumita. Pero ngayon kasi, mas mataas siya or it could be, minsan pareho kami. Pero yung confidence niya na parang ang saya-saya niya, nagagawa na niya yung role niya as the provider. So, iba rin talaga kapag confident yung lalaki.
Yeah. Like, hopping onto that, we were talking about this, but I want to hear your thoughts again on this. Like, sa isang relationship ba dapat 50-50?
Depende yan sa kung ano yung pinag-uusapan. Pero for me, para mag-work talaga is kailangan maghati kayo. But you really have to know kung saan ka dapat magpo-provide ng 100% mo and saan din siya magpo-provide ng 100% niya. So for example, dun sa pag-aalaga ng mga bata. Of course, hindi naman natin pwedeng sabing 50-50 kasi hindi naman nila skills yun. Mas knowledgeable ako bilang mother and as a nurse as well. So ako dapat yung nag-aalaga when it comes to may sakit yung anak ko or pinapacheck up yung anak ko. Ako yung naghanap ng mga doctors nila or school. So dapat ako yung in charge doon. Pero when it comes to major decisions na like kailangan ba dito tayo magstay or kung nagbibuild tayo ng bahay, ano yung dapat nating sino yung contractor natin, yung mga ganun, yung sasakyan, yung ganun. Kung sino yung mas magaling doon, dapat doon siya. Dun, kumbaga, 100% siya doon. Kasi hindi naman sa relationship, kailangan sa lahat ng aspect, isa lang yung magaling. And hindi rin naman pwede na, alam mo yun, yung parang i-expect mo na yung finances nyo, kung ikaw naman talaga yung mas may capability na magtrabaho, and aware ka na doon before entering the relationship na mas may edge ka na mag-work, hindi mo dapat asahan na 50-50 kayo eh. Kasi magkakaroon talaga ng struggle, mag-aaway kayo. So, yung expectations dapat maset na kung saan ka 100%, saan ka 50%.
Love that. Thank you so much. I'm learning a lot with this conversation. Super interesting. I think we can talk about a lot about relationship at 50-50. I would love to have you on another episode. And then so we could talk about that. But maybe just to wrap up this episode, like I'm curious, like for the people who are starting their businesses and they feel na they know na, especially for the nurses out there na, kasi yan ang parang pinaka-default na game plan na binigay ng mga magulang, mag-nursing ka. Super funny. Alam mo yung mom ko, parang frustrated nurse siya kasi hindi siya nakapasa ng boards pero she really wanted to become a nurse. Up until now, kahit successful na ako, minsan nababanggit niya sa akin na, what if mag-nursing ka pa rin kaya? Parang ako, ma, ano sinasabi mo? Pero parang it's been it's been the default talaga, lalo na pag Pilipino ka. Diba? But a lot of people out there really know na hindi naman yun yung path na gusto nila i-take. And maybe they want to start a business, right? Can you share like 3 tips for them as they're starting their own path and their own journey?
Sa mga gustong mag-business, ang masasabi ko lang sa inyo is if you really want this path, you have to be prepared not only financially, kailangan matuto ka talagang to get out from your comfort zone. So, medyo mag-testing ka na doon. For example, is kung gusto mong mag-e-commerce, ang ma-advise ko lang is you have to immerse yourself dun sa industry na gusto mong pasukan or kung anong business. So, kung gusto mong franchising, aralin mo muna yon before talaga na totally full blast ka or mag-risk ka. Because yung pagbe-business, hindi siya madali. Marami kang may encounter na failures and if you're not prepared talaga or if you're not equipped dun sa mindset mo, dun sa emotions mo, baka makapag-start ka, okay, pero yung mag-sustain ng business, it's different. So, immersion muna, be friends with business owners para makita mo talaga kung ano yung galawan ng pagiging negosyante. And then, siguro yung next is, you really have to invest din sa technical side ng pagbe-business. So, if you want to do e-commerce, mag-aral ka, may YouTube University naman, or if you want to, fast track talaga at meron ka naman talagang resources, then pwede kang mag-enroll sa different courses, paid courses, or even mentorship. Kasi sila yung magpa-fast track nung business mo eh. Kasi right now, ang game is speed. Hindi naman pwedeng nagtitipid ka, do it on your own, mag-aaral ka, medyo matatagalan ka ng result. Lalong-lalo na ngayon, sobrang tough yung competition when it comes to digital marketing or e-commerce. So, yan. Hindi lang yung porket gusto mong mag-business, that's okay. Mag-aral ka din talaga ng technical side para magkaroon ka ng result. Kasi when starting a business, para magkaroon ka ng positive cash flow, kailangan marunong kang magbenta or magkaroon ng income, yung maging profitable yung business mo. And then siguro yung third would be once na nagawa mo na yon, nagkaroon ka ng friends, na-immerse ka sa isang community, or even nagkaroon ka ng friends into business and meron kang technical skills na, then do it, start it. Hindi mo naman kailangan mag-start ng malaki. You can start small. Buy and sell, or pwedeng mag-reseller, mag-distributor, you just have to test. Hindi mo naman din kasi malalaman kung saan ka talaga magiging successful sa e-commerce, kung branding ba, reseller. Kasi meron din talagang nagba-brand pero hindi sila successful. Pero reseller sila pero profitable. So, yun lang.
Wow. Thank you so much. I'm really honored to have you on the show and learn all of the wisdom that you have. Thank you so much. If, people would like to know more of what you do, where can they find you?
Wait lang. Ano sabi ko?
Just search your name or ano.
Yung Facebook ko na lang.
Sige. Yep.
Alright. So you can check my Facebook page, Lian Domenden. And you can also search me on TikTok. That's Lian Domenden. Pero pala pag wala akong website.
So, kailangan mo na rin mag-build ng
Okay.
website. But definitely, she's also gonna have her own podcast. So, abangan nyo yan. I'll be linking everything down below. So, if interested kayo to learn more about what she does, go ahead, check her profiles down below. Thank you so much,
Thank
Lian.
you so much,
Nag-enjoy
Coach
ako.
Alec.
Of
Thank
course,
you.
no? And guys, if you enjoyed this episode, go ahead, share nyo naman to social media platforms nyo. Don't forget to tag her at Leanne
De La Cruz.
De La Cruz.
Yeah.
Leanne, I'll link it below. And of course, don't forget to tag me at Alec Cuenca. And yeah, if you enjoy this, send me a message. Let me know what you learned from this episode so that, I could do more episodes like this. Again, my name is Alec Cuenca. If you are interested in learning more about how to live your best year ever, you can check out my book here, Your Best Year Ever. Nandito yan. Link din yan down below. Read it, and live your best year ever. So again, maraming salamat. My name is Alec Cuenca. This is Small Talk, Small Conversations with huge impact. And I'll see you guys next episode. Peace.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.